Hello and welcome back to Life Prep University. I'm Tiffany Buckner. Listen, it's 5 a.m. in the morning. It's almost 5:30. So if I'm not looking my best, forgive me. I wanted to come out and just welcome you to the classroom and just really help you to understand Life Prep University and help you to understand the other programs that I have. I'm excited about it. So first and foremost, congratulations. Thank you for joining us. I believe any person who's willing to make an investment into their life has a future worth investing in. So for you to make that investment, it shows a lot about you. It really says that, hey, you're saying, I don't want to be where I am. I want to go far in Christ Jesus. I want to do whatever it is that God has me to do. So again, it's the middle of the night, guys. Forgive me. I may have dog hair on me. Again, I got up from a church nap, so I'm not looking my best. I know you don't need this disclaimer, but yeah, sometimes people expect you to come out in full, I'm supposed to have on glitter and stuff. So with that being said, I'm excited about the opportunity to come out and teach you really. And I'm excited about the opportunity to come out and just get to know you guys. For those of you I may not connect with, for example, if you have just access to silver access, we may not have any communication. However, I still get to know you just from your emails. I remember the people who typically register for classrooms and stuff like that. And it just really warms my heart to see people who are trying to change their lives. So thank you for that. So I do want to make sure that I lay down some house rules. If you've been in any of my classrooms before, you are familiar with these house rules and you're probably laughing. You're probably saying, uh-oh, here we go with the rules. But you know why I do the rules. I give the rules because I believe that the enemy is always looking for an opportunity to launch confusion or offense. He's always, like any covenant connection, anything that's kingdom, the enemy is always trying to draw a line of divide because he understands a house, a program, a church, or anything that's divided cannot and will not stand. So he's always trying to find some type of way to bring offense in. And so I found that if I discuss everything and I make sure I put everything out there in the beginning, it eliminates doesn't 100% eliminate it because I always have one rebel, but it does keep it down to a minimum. So whereas it could have been 15 rebels, I end up with one person. The other 14 just kind of fall back. I don't believe that's true for this classroom, but it's just say, classrooms, classes that I've had in the past, I've had a rebel or two in each class. And so with that being said, I want to go ahead and introduce you to a concept for those of you who've never taken a class from me. If I have to resend an email to you, there is a $10 fee. Now, you're probably saying, oh my gosh, no, why would she do that? The reason for that is because a lot of times what I've had happen, I want you to get this picture. I had, for example, Marriage Prep University last year, I had 80 registrants. 80. I want you to think about that. 80, one person, 80 people to register. And of those 80, I have maybe 15 to 20 people who emailed me, who said, hey, I don't see the email from you. Now, they didn't email me at my email address. They went to my website. They filled out the form saying, hey, I don't see the registration email. I don't see this and I don't see that. And I'm just like, it's in your spam folder. This is what I'm saying in my head, but I'm having to communicate that to them. Chances are is in your spam folder. So this is what people typically do. I'm in business and I teach people business. So I understand a lot of times in business, there is that learning curve. There's that place of frustration that people get to. And this is the place where they say, well, you know what? I'm not going to go past this point because it's getting on my nerves. It's getting under my skin. So I'm just going to ask for help. And this is what people typically do with emails. They scroll again. They scroll again. And so typically the average person scrolls 2 to 5 minutes. They will scroll, they'll scroll, and then they get to that place of frustration and they say, I don't want the responsibility of trying to find this because it's getting on my skin. I'm starting to get agitated. So I'm going to reach out to Tiffany, not realizing that there are other people who are reaching out to me as well. So every person typically wants 15 to 30 minutes of time going back and forth. Just to give you numbers or what have you. The average person wants 15 to 30 minutes of time. So if I get an email from a person and I respond to them, I say, hey, this is the email address. I just checked it, from the email you registered, because now check this out. I'm having to go back, find out where they registered. Then I have to look at the back office of that dashboard Then I have to compare the email and compare it to the email I sent. Chances are I copied and pasted the email and I sent it to them. And I email them. I say, hey, and they say, well, I see this email from you, but I don't see the other email. And so I have to go back and forth with them. And I say, check your spam folder. So typically when you tell them to check their spam folder, a lot of times they start feeling a little level of shame because they realize I scrolled up, I scrolled down, I scrolled up, and I scrolled down. So the next step would have been to check my spam folder, but I decided instead to email her and give her the responsibility. So a lot of times this is what happens. People will say, well, I don't see it. Now, it's sitting right there in their face in their spam folder. I use MailChimp. MailChimp tells me that they've opened the email. I've literally had people who've opened their email, not in this class, but in the past. I've literally had people who've opened their email, but they'll email me back and say, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. And so this person is taking a lot of my time. So once I'm finished with this person, ma'am, is in your spam folder. Okay, I'll resend it. Once I finish with this person, I've just wasted 15 to 30 minutes with that person. And I have to go to the next person. And then I have to go to the next person. Then I have to go to the next person. And it's sitting right there in their spam folder. It would have took them a couple of minutes to just go through their spam folder and find it. But they gave me the responsibility of going back and forth with them. It takes them a lot longer to go back and forth. And so to eliminate that, I charge a $10 fee. To eliminate that, because it makes people take the responsibility. Like, I'm not trying to pay her $10, and people will locate their email. So make sure you're flagging my email so that you can have it at the top of your page, info@anointedfire.com. Make sure you're having that up there. So again, I wanted to make sure that the enemy doesn't come in and bring offense. I wanted to make sure that this is a smooth program, that everything runs good. I want you to get the maximum, the maximum impartation. I want you to get the most out of this program. I don't want it to be something that, ends up, frustrating you and you feeling like, well, I don't feel like she's trying to help me. But again, it's a lot of people. And then if, we're in the classroom, so I can be transparent. Sometimes people are trying to open up, it's forced contact. That's what I call it. It's, try to open up a level of communication. I'm going to be your teacher's pet. And so they try to open it up or what have you, and they come back and they say, thank you so much. I found it, this is the, and I believe this, and God bless you, what have you. And then they're sitting there actually waiting on me to respond to that too. And so it's just a bunch of going back and forth. It's just too much. I don't have an assistant right now. So please, please, please always consider that, not just with me, but with any leader. Always consider the amount of work that the leader has. So I don't want you to sit there and think that I'm sitting at my computer and I have nothing to do but to email back and forth. I'm tongue tied at this 5:30 in the morning. So also, with that being said, I want to make sure that I am helping you guys to understand the access that you have. For those of you who didn't watch the first video in its entirety, yeah, I understand a lot of times the videos are long and people don't like to watch them in their entirety, but you're gonna have to. You're gonna have to do that when you're in the classroom. I need you guys to make sure you're familiarizing yourself with rules and stuff like that. That way you don't email me and ask me to tell you something that's already put out there. So I'm trying to keep this message as short as possible, maybe 3 more minutes of your time. And with that being said, there are different levels of access. There was silver access, which is standard basic access, which was $14.95 if you had the early bird special, $19.95 if you got the standard registration. Then there's gold registration. It was $39.95 if you got the early bird special. It was $49.99, I think, if you got standard registration. If the time expired and you had to get standard. Then there was platinum. There's silver, platinum, platinum access. That was $79.99. Early bird special, $99.99. If you got regular registration. And then lastly, there was diamond access. Diamond access was $149 if you got early bird and $199 if you got standard. So what's the difference? If you have silver access, I really need you to stop what you're doing right now and really, really hear me, because I really don't want to answer this in an email. If you have silver access, you have access to the message, not the message board, but you have access to the library only. And that's fine, because you got 24 messages that you get to listen to over an entire year. So that's great. That's marvelous. If you have silver access, you don't have access to the message board. You don't have access to any of the premium classes. If you have silver access, you only have access to the library. You won't have any homework assignments. As a matter of fact, this is a challenge yourself class. So really what you have a year to listen to each message. And one of the things I want you to do is when you listen to a message, I want you to write a report, because I believe that if you take something and you just listen to it, you don't take the most from it. But if you write a report about what you learned, it helps you to maximize the information or what have you, and to get an even greater impartation. So I want you to make sure you're writing a report. You don't send a report to me. That is for you, and that's for your notes. It could be your journal notes or what have you, and talk about how that's going to change your life. So you don't have, if you have silver access, meaning you pay $14.95 or $19.95, you have access to the library. And again, that's still great. That's still marvelous. You got 2 years worth of messages if you would have listened to one a month, and you got 2 years worth of messages, and you have an entire year to listen to it in its entirety. I'm gonna get this right. So make sure that you understand that. So if you have gold access gives you access to all 24 messages plus the message board on Facebook. Plus gold access gives you access to one premium class. I have to remind people of that. One premium class. You don't have 2 premium classes with gold access. You have 1 premium class. And if you have platinum access, you have access to 2 premium classes, the message board and the library. And plus you have access to woman to woman. So you get to choose 2 premium classes. You have access to this library, and you can come to the woman to woman teleconference, and I think and that's platinum access. And you have access to the slumber party. You have access to the slumber party. And then the last one is platinum access. Platinum access gives you access to everything, every single thing. So you have access to all the premium classes, the woman to woman, the slumber party, and the library and the message board. So those are the different levels of access. Make sure you're looking at the schedule so that you can know what dates each class and what times for each class. Right before I launch the class, I'll send out emails to let you know the login information. So don't get caught up like, I haven't got anything for the classes yet. Yes, I'm going to send the information out. I typically do that like a day or 2 before the class, so you can look at the scheduler and you can see the times and the dates for each class. And I'll send out the call-in instructions to your email maybe a day or 2 before each class. If you're unable to make a class, no worries. You'll be able to watch the replay video. Yes, with the classes, you do have homework. It's not mandatory homework because this is not a mentorship. However, I do want you to participate. I believe you'll get the maximum out of all of this if you participate in the homework. Marriage Prep University, I typically send you guys on a daddy-daughter date with the Lord. So I'm excited about it all. With that being said, I wanted to make sure that you guys understand when you come to the message board, for those of you who have gold access or higher, when you're on the message board, always keep things professional, always show integrity and love toward one another. I don't tolerate gossip, slander, backbiting, attacking leaders, or even attacking members or what have you. That's not tolerated. So you'll have lifetime access to that particular message board as long as Facebook doesn't pull it down. And that's that. I do reserve the right to remove you from the program or the message board should you become disrespectful in any way towards myself or anybody else. Now, that doesn't happen, but it's just to say you have to kind of put that stuff out there. So anyhow, with that being said, I want you guys to be excited about it. I know I've had to come out, and I'm not always excited about giving disclaimers and the rules because it just sounds so negative. But if I don't give it, then we do have a negative experience. Everybody else is ready, but I end up having a negative experience with a couple of people, and I really don't want that to happen. I want it to be easy for you. I want it to be easy for me. I want it to be smooth flowing. Lastly, if you have not registered for Soul, the Soul Management is called Inside Out. Or if you have registered for it, you guys know we're going to be doing deliverance on that last class. I'm excited about that. We're going to be doing a little bit of deliverance, cast out, come out. So if you have not registered, get in there. It's a $29.99 registration fee. You can use the same form to register. So again, make sure you're looking at the scheduler. Make sure you're familiarizing yourself with the times and dates of each class. I don't want to get an email from somebody saying, I don't have the sold out. I'm talking about the last class, but I don't have the soul management registration. What happened? And I'm like, it's in the scheduler. I see the scheduler. Go through the scheduler. Oh, okay, I see it. Yeah. We're going to make sure we get this right. So anyhow, I just wanted to come out and talk to you guys and just introduce you to the program and just, get everything started so that you guys can know what to expect from me. And we'll be talking on the message board. I'll be asking any questions you have. For those of you who have message board access, I'll be answering any questions that you have. Understand, again, this is lifetime access. So even next year, if you seem to have a question about something, you can ask it on the message board. Now, I'm not going to say I'm going to jump to the question. I'm not going to say I'm going to run to the question. Oh, yeah, there was something else I needed to say. For those of you, and forgive me if I laugh because I get these in every classroom. For those of you who say you're consecrating from Facebook, you have message board access if you decide to register for Facebook. It's important for you to know that I am not going to email you what's on the message board. That is too much time. You want me to do that, I will charge. Because you can reactivate your Facebook page or start your Facebook page up or what have you, and you say, hey, I'm fasting from Facebook. I get it. I understand. But you just won't have access to the revelation or the information on Facebook until you come back on there. Now, the reason I say that is because, again, I always have maybe 1 or 2 students who say they're consecrating or they're fasting from Facebook or they got off Facebook for whatever reason, and they always ask me, can you email me the stuff? And I'm like, I can't give you that type of special attention. It's too time consuming. Really, you got to always think about the time aspect of it all. So if you happen to be consecrating from Facebook, I had a girl in my last class. She was like, it was just too messy on Facebook. I'm like, send friend requests out to good people. It's not messy. It's just your friends list, the people you were surrounding yourself with on Facebook. And so I just told her, I said, why don't you just start a new page? If it's that deep, start a new page. But I'm not going to be sending out emails to personal email addresses saying, hey, we're chatting about this on the message board. Is there something you like us to post up for you? No. You see how silly it sounds now, right? So we do have that. So I want to make sure that there's no confusion. I love y'all. Really, really, I really love y'all. And I'm looking forward to connecting to you. I'm looking forward to these conference calls. Like, that's my baby, when I get a chance to talk to you guys raw, when I get to teach you live and raw, and the slumber party. If you've never been to a slumber party, I just had one. I posted it to Facebook where we open up the floor for questions. I'm always excited. I usually do those like once a year. So if you didn't get into that, you're probably going to miss out. All right. I love y'all. I'm going to talk to you soon. Welcome to the class.